What is up, homies? Welcome back to another trailer reaction from Heroes Reforged. We're watching the brand new 3-minute trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps. We did a trailer reaction for the first trailer. If you haven't seen that, check that out. We're also going to be revisiting the classic Fantastic Four movies from the early 2000s. We're going to have those reactions on our Patreon and on YouTube as we get closer to the release of this movie. I am very stoked to rewatch those because it's been a long time and they might be poo-poo, but I'm still looking forward to watching them. Yeah. In terms of this movie, I like that first trailer quite a bit. It was a really good sort of like flavor of what to expect. The retro-futuristic 1960s. Sorry, Hector. It looks like they're going to be in an alternate universe coming into the MCU. That'll be interesting.
I know.
And they're going to show up in Avengers Doomsday. So every movie that's coming out this year is going to be important to the Avengers movie that's going to come out next year. So you got to watch Thunderbolts. Sorry, everyone. And you got to watch this too. Sorry, everyone. We're 18 years into the cinematic universe. This is just how it goes now. You should be used to this.
That's just the required watching. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Any other thoughts before we jump into this trailer?
Nah, dude, let's just get into it.
Too many thoughts. So yeah, let's just watch.
I know. We gotta have a whole nother podcast episode. We gotta have a whole nother after this one. If it is true what Adam said that they're in another dimension, it's gonna be a whole nother podcast episode. So let's save it for that.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
Forever changed.
This car?
Yeah.
Look at those teeth. Damn.
Owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
Please welcome
Cool.
Okay.
Fantastic Four.
All right.
This is all Reed's idea.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking?
Need something a little zip.
Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What?
Oh,
You're gonna be the best mom.
oh shit, already?
You're gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. You're gonna be the best uncles ever.
Whoa.
Damn, so they were hiding maybe a baby bump in that last trailer.
Dang. Okay.
Uh-oh. And she's pregnant, and then they got to deal with this, the devourer of worlds.
Oh, shit.
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Hey, don't touch
Get
my
off
board.
my
I
surfboard.
stretched the bounds of space. And they heard.
Oh, stretch the bounds of space and they heard? What the hell was he doing?
I don't know.
We're gonna need Uatu. We're gonna need an ultimate nullifier. Yo.
I'm not giving up.
Oh no. This is
We will face it.
grim.
We will fight it together. As a family.
All right, Sue. All right, Sue.
Oh, okay.
Has to be us.
There's nobody else. It has to be them.
Nice.
Oh shit. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Okay.
Look at that.
Wow.
We will protect you.
Oh man. Reed,
Oh
you're
no.
in over your head, Reed.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
What are we gonna see? What the
hell? Oh, Galactus.
Hey, Galactus.
Holy
just strolling through
Jesus.
town.
Holy
Just taking a little
Jesus.
stroll, y'all.
That's crazy.
taking
That's
my little
crazy.
Taking a little fart walk.
I love it.
I just ate a whole planet and I need to digest me some.
That's my choice.
That's my choice. I need to take a little fart walk after I eat a planet.
Hector, tell us how
man.
you feeling. You got
Hector.
thoughts, you got theories. What do you got?
You seem apprehensive, Hector.
I'm feeling good. In case anybody's just joining
Okay.
us, my apprehension from the beginning has been that I want these characters and these actors in the MCU. Now, when you put them in another universe, they're not in the MCU. Deadpool is not in the MCU. because he's in his X-Men reality, and that's fine. And the reason I want these characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is because I love these characters and I love their history with the other characters, Black Panther, Spider-Man, the Avengers, all of it. And to put him in the 60s world, and specifically, we've heard the director say there's no other superheroes, there's no Iron Man, there's nobody else. That's great for this story, but I am a Marvel nerd, and I want what's great for Marvel. So I think you can have both, and I'm hoping that this is a cheat to the audience and a lie to convince people who are sick of watching every Marvel movie or who feel like they have to watch every Marvel movie to go watch this one. But at the end of it, there will be a revelation, or maybe in Avengers Doomsday, there'll be a revelation that they're not actually native to this universe, but they are from Universe 616, Reality 616, the sacred timeline. And they were sent here, boom, banished by Doctor Doom, their ultimate villain. And they will remember and they will restore and they will come back to the 616 universe. Because if they're from this reality, and like people on the internet have been saying, well, they'll just escape Galactus destroying their Earth and they'll pop over into our world, into the MCU, and they'll stay there. That's bullshit. Look at Reed in this trailer. Look at him trying everything he can to save people. He's in a press junket. He's going, we will save you. We will protect you. He's not going to be somebody who, if he fails in that regard, will not try to undo it with time travel, with the quantum realm, with the Infinity Gauntlet, with the Ultimate Nullifier, with the Cosmic Cube, with any resource he has available. So that's my trepidation. But all of that aside, all of that story stuff aside, we're like, I need Reed to be able to be the man that he's, supposed to be. This trailer looks great. It looks great. The characters look pitch perfect. Even the way Pedro says, we will protect you. It's sad. He's nervous. Yeah. He doesn't know if he can. Yeah. I love that stuff, dude. That's
he's scared.
That's the kind of movie I want to see for sure.
Yeah.
And the style, all of it looks amazing. So that if you're just joining us, that's always been my trepidation. But I recognize that the marketing for this movie, the trailers for this movie, the cast and the director, and they've all been doing great, and they all look fantastic. So, what did you guys think of this trailer? What did you guys think? Augustine's been nervous about the baby. The baby, Franklin coming.
Tell us about that.
100%. Dude, the power scaling on. So, okay. So the fact that we're getting potentially Sentry, unconfirmed, confirmed Sentry, tips the balance of power, like physical power in the MCU massively. Because Sentry is basically Superman, unstoppable, unhinged, has, some mental issues going on. But now to bring in Franklin Richards is God. Franklin Richards is the one, I guess you could say he's close to the one above all, which is like the God in the Marvel universe. Like there's the one above all, and then there's like Franklin Richards right below it. And that's an unstoppable being. And so to bring in a character that can just delete reality by himself, he doesn't need the Infinity Gauntlet. He doesn't need anything to create galaxies. He just does it. Is to me can feel like, I don't want to say Marvel jumping the shark because I don't feel like that would be appropriate for that, but just to bring in a character of that's on the good side, quote unquote, the good side with that level of power. I don't know how that's going to bode for the future, because what's that going to do to the street level villains like the Thunderbolts? What's that going to do to Spider-Man? What's that going to do to all the other guys who can, just are a little bit stronger than humans and can shoot webs?
But
and
Fantastic Four have never been street level, man. But Fantastic Four, I mean, listen, you're absolutely right.
I know
and I think another character,
but everybody else is.
Another character you can compare Franklin Richards to in terms of power is maybe like a Galactus. Because Galactus is this force of nature that also cannot be stopped, almost like the Phoenix Force or whatever. Sure. And I feel like having both of them in this one movie, it's almost like maybe that's why they're bringing in Franklin to kind of balance. You know what I mean? Maybe by introducing Galactus, they're really setting up Galactus to be like, this is something that in a lot of ways is scarier than Thanos. Thanos has ambition. Thanos can be stopped, undone, but maybe Galactus can't. And so maybe Franklin coming in, it's almost like the movie Eternals with the Celestials and that whole those big Kirby ideas where you're like, what they're seeding planets and then people are going to die, but then it means that other planets will be seeded with life.
Yeah.
It's a lot, dude. It's really a lot. It's big, heady ideas, but maybe Franklin is the beginning of that, and how that's going to pay off. Yeah, you're right. Cause it could go storytelling wise, it could really get off the rails quick.
Yeah.
So you really got to
Exactly.
be nervous.
That's what
about
I'm worried
what
about.
Marvel Studios. Right.
For me, so one of the characters that I feel like has been done a huge injustice besides Black Widow in the MCU is Hulk. Hulk is an unstoppable force. The Avengers couldn't stop him. All of Tony Stark's rays couldn't stop him when he was mad. But it's understandable that they don't bring the power levels to that point just yet in the Avengers, because it's still, still a little homegrown, still very early on. But maybe this is the point. Maybe Fantastic Four is the point where they start bringing these world destroying, characters and mutants and everything into the picture. We still have the X-Men to handle, and we're bringing in Franklin Richards.
Man.
That's fucking wild to me, dude. That's crazy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they need Franklin for the Phoenix Force, or maybe Franklin's the only one who can take out Galactus. But Galactus never gets taken out anyway. So who
everything
knows,
you're
man?
mentioning,
I don't know what they're doing.
Everything you're mentioning is also, again, part of my fear and my worry, because Franklin is also like a mutant. He's born a mutant, and Franklin Richards' history is tied into the X-Men's world and to Charles Xavier, and to, they interact with those characters. And then you mentioned Hulk, and I'm like, dude, Ben Grimm and Bruce Banner, they have a beef. Hulk and Thing fight, and it's great. And I can't imagine that they would take the effort to put into these characters, the Fantastic Four characters, and never try to pay that off in some fashion, right?
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, Hulk is still in play. They didn't retire him like Cap or Iron Man. So yeah, like that's another reason. All of these reasons are like, these are the reasons I want the Fantastic Four to be in the sacred timeline, so that it's just one less step of like, oh, I'm going to go play poker with all these characters from another universe. Oh, I'm going to pop over there with my interdimensional machine. Once again, I'm going to go talk to the Hulk and go deal. It's like, it's such a, it's fine when it's Deadpool, because that's kind of his whole thing, but it's really annoying to have the Fantastic Four like go through one or two steps just to get to the rest of the Marvel characters when they should be there. But back to this trailer, I want to hear Adam's thoughts, because like all of this aside, again, the vibe of this one, kind of like the Thunderbolts trailer we just watched, is a little darker. Like we were like, hey, this is maybe not super happy-go-lucky. Maybe this is bad. Maybe the things will be bad.
This
Adam, what do you think?
Good.
I think that's what surprised me from the trailer, was that it starts really hopeful, and it starts off, giving you a little bit of context and insight into their origin story. But I do think that the backstory will probably be pivotal into how like we see their abilities displayed in the film, because we finally get a glimpse at like, what does Mr. Fantastic looks like when he's using stretchy powers? And it looks really good in that brief clip that we saw. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they represent the power sets on screen. And my major trepidation going into this film was the timeline of the production, because it started shooting once Superman wrapped, and it comes out only 2 weeks after Superman comes out. And I know that I've been pretty critical of Marvel and how they handle the post-production process of their movies. And they sometimes it feels like they rush through visual effects to make their deadlines, because they also have to do reshoots and, that kind of stuff. But I will give them credit for this movie specifically. And I know Matt Shakman did a lot of previs and a lot of visual effects tests to ensure that they could do the movie in a compressed time schedule like that. And so far, as of this trailer, I really feel like it's delivering the promise of a really good visual spectacle. And it looks really great. I love the 1960s retro-futuristic look in the movie. It all looks really nice. In terms of the story, like I'm really curious to see how it plays out, and whether or not this whole retro-future 60s is a big trap or something that they were stuck in. But in terms of the trailer itself, I liked the tone. I liked that it starts hopeful and optimistic. But as Reed starts to explain, like, oh, I've been trying to tap into something, and someone out there in space heard it, and now they're coming for us. That is terrifying. And for these four characters to take on the weight of defending this entire Earth, and maybe seemingly failing at that, what is that going to do to Reed Richards as a character as we go into Avengers Doomsday? And those movies are all about universes colliding and Earths colliding and becoming one, or being dwindled down from like millions or hundreds of thousands of Earths into maybe like 5, 10, 1. That I think is going to be a really interesting character arc for Reed Richards. So I'm interested in all that stuff, because I'm also like not the most familiar with Fantastic Four comics. I know, Hector, you gave me one that I have yet to read. So this is going to be really fun for me.
Read it.
to get into this universe and to understand these characters.
Read some books.
Read that shit, Adam.
See how it'll tie
read some
into
books.
Earth 616 or 199999999, whatever it is. I don't know what it actually is, but
Well, I know Hector doesn't like my theory, but what if they're already trapped on a planet or in a reality that Doom already created? That Doom's just keeping them occupied with something that they're already like they're trapped in this reality that Doom has already created. And with this movie and whatever's coming out next, we're starting to slowly unravel the plan that Doom already has everybody wrapped up in.
Yeah,
Could be.
Like,
I don't know.
I
Could be.
Here's why I like that theory, and this is kind of what I'm hoping it is because before we even see this movie, a Doctor Doom has already won. That's a great way to introduce Doom, right? That's a great way to introduce that character, is to go, hey, audiences, that you just fell in love with he's so good, he's already beaten them. He's already banished them to this world.
Yeah.
And I like the notion that, like, if he somehow banishes them, that they're still like fated, or because of Reed and the crew's intelligence, they still get their powers even in this world, and they still become the Fantastic Four. But it's sort of Doctor Doom's grand plan to be like, yeah, but you're cut off from everything else. You're here, you're cut off. And you know what? And just for that, in this reality, I'm going to send Galactus to you. I'm going to send him to you. You know what I mean? Like, you may have
just so you don't think there's anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Here you go. Be occupied. Yeah. Very exciting. We haven't even talked about Silver Surfer. She looks great and she looks scary.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing is that she's this harbinger of doom, harbinger of death. I shouldn't say doom because that's going to make us think about Doctor Doom, but she is like the coming of the apocalypse. You know, that cannot be prevented when she shows up, and it's really scary. And I'm into flipping the script and having the Silver Surfer be a woman as opposed to traditionally a man. But that's another thing that makes me think about, she's not playing Norina Rad. She's playing Shala Bal, which is like Norin Rad's lover and wife on the planet that the original Silver Surfer from the comics like came from. So I'm like, oh, it really does feel alternate reality and not like this is the normal Fantastic Four story.
So when we get
even
to 616, is it going to be Norin Rad?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it'll be like Norin
Most
Rad,
likely,
and it'll be
most
like
likely.
It'll be, and it's a little regressive to go from like a woman character, no, back to a man. We got to get a man this job. But they may play the story of like, well, in the normal sacred timeline, Norin Rad was able to sort of like, just like Hawkeye and Black Widow, when Natasha Romanoff, when she sacrificed herself, she did it to save Clint and to save the rest of the Avengers. And maybe in the sacred timeline, Norin is sacrificing his life to become the Herald of Galactus, because he's like, I don't want Shala Bal to have to do this. I don't want my world, Zen-La, to have to suffer, so I'll do it. So maybe they'll play it like that, where it's like, no, in the sacred timeline, that's what Norin wanted. And he wished he could have done this in this reality, but Shala Bal beat him to it, kicked him in the nuts, said, I'm the Herald of Galactus. I'll sacrifice myself. And she's heroic too. So, you know, but she looks great and really scary. And there's so many questions that are coming from this movie. There's so many conversations that we can have from this. Yeah. Whereas I think Thunderbolts, there's possibility there too, but I feel like we watch a trailer and we're like, we're in. We know what this is. And we have an idea of where these characters are going to show up after. But Fantastic Four is just a big, exciting question mark.
All up in the air. All up in the air.
All up in the air.
Final thoughts. Can we talk about how hard Michael Giacchino's cooking with the score, dude? I think personally it's one of my favorite scores of his. Oh my God, dude. It's crazy. Like, I get goosebumps when I hear it. This shit is rad.
Listen.
It's so cool. He's mixing a little synth in there with the orchestra. It's so dope.
Yeah.
It's so damn cool. Anyways.
Yeah, really, really good. The other thing too, really quick, I think the conversation that people keep having is, we're doing Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and there's been nothing to lead up to that yet. And it feels like we're just kind of like, we're pivoting from Kang the Conqueror straight into Doom. And I do feel like this movie, because when this movie, even when you just first saw the original logo, it's very modern. It was a very modern take on the Fantastic Four logo. It wasn't until it was like initially officially announced that Matt Shakman, I think, was taking over as the director, that we got this retro-futuristic logo. So I do wonder if at one point, when Kang the Conqueror was still on the table as the ultimate baddie, Fantastic Four was just going to be the modern telling of their story on Earth 616. And then once that pivot happened, they started to think, how can we take the Fantastic Four story and introduce these characters in an interesting way where we can also pivot to Doom and make it feel like it feels like a natural progression of our universe. And maybe that's why they landed on doing something where it's retro-futuristic, they're in an alternate reality, Doom placed them there, and now, like you guys are saying, Doom's already won. He's already beat Fantastic Four. He's coming for the Avengers and the X-Men next. So it kind of helps tee up and pivot. And hopefully, if that's the case, hopefully it's a seamless pivot, but we'll see.
It's a great point you bring up. I want to mention, too, that the character of Kang in the comics, his real name is Nathaniel Richards. And depending on what you look at, he's either a descendant of Reed Richards, like in the far future, or maybe an ancestor because of timey-wimey, whatever. So, like, could this movie initially designed be a further setup to, like, Reed getting looped into the multiverse saga and going, oh, my descendant is causing all this trouble. I have to help stop him or whatever. But it, like you're saying, Adam, it also makes sense. It's like, well, we're just going to pivot to Doom, also using this movie, also using some tee up and some setup in this film. It certainly feels like Captain America, Brave New World didn't really have anything to do with anything, but they still threw in a little tease at the end where they're like, the other heroes are coming. The other multiverse is coming. Like, Cap might not have anything to do with, with Kang or Doom necessarily, but they're still trying to, maybe these projects this year, Cap and Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are all going to be that kind of, because these are the last 3 movies before Doomsday. Which is crazy. So first steps, more like final steps. That's it. These are the final steps, baby. Before it's up.
I was rewatching the trailer, and in the moment where Reed says, "I don't know," if our Doom theory is correct, Victor is going, gotcha, bitch.
Yep.
You don't know, and I already bested you. That's gonna be great. Okay, well, now I'm excited. Now I'm excited about that.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting and exciting, and it's probably like on my board of movies. It's not. I wouldn't say it's in my top most anticipated, but it's the top most interesting movie to see. That's part of like a greater universe to see like how does this unravel all of these sort of mysteries in this universe and where we're going to go from here. So we'll see. But guys, let us know your theories in the comments below. How do you think Fantastic Four is going to tie into our universe and now basically be like the final piece before we get into Avengers Doomsday? Let us know your thoughts, your theories. Check out our watch-alongs for the first original Fantastic Four movies on Patreon and on YouTube. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching